Hey YouTube! One from the vaults. Ever seen one of these before? Rather fancy. This is the Aria Pro 2. Not a Aria Pro 2. The Aria Pro 2. So this is a pb1500. It's still got the pb1500 sticker on the neck there. So what we have is, you don't see very many Les Paul basses, which is what this is. It's through neck. Very fancy. I think this is an ash top. And it certainly looks like it. It's actually even carved on the back, like as well as on the front. It's got the wooden cavity cover. You know, this is a top-notch piece of kit. These are not the correct knobs. The knobs on it look mental. I've never seen them before. Someone probably 3D prints them. The same with the PE range of guitars. So this is the PB. There's the PE 1500, 1000, 800, 600 that all came out around about this time, late 70s. This one's serial number 11. I think that makes it 1981, but I'm not sure. Certainly round about there. I have seen other ones of these, like two other ones of these, but they're satin finish. This one's gloss. And also, it's also got headstock veneer, which I don't think I've seen any of the other ones. Any of the other ones always have the, you know, they've got the rosewood stripe going up the middle, so it doesn't have a veneer on the top. This one does, so this is a rarity in its own right. According to the brochure, DiMarzio pickup, which I've not actually tried. I'll check it. I was under the impression before that DiMarzio pickups have, when you're using your Allen key set, you look on the Imperial side if it's DiMarzio, and if it's a Japanese copy or it's something else, it'll be metric. So let's see if it is actually metric or Imperial. Assuming this is the original pickup. It definitely says, there's no that one. It went up from that. A 3 and 3/30 seconds. Yeah, so it's so it probably is a real DiMarzio. It uses the analog, the Imperial things. Yeah, so this one, I bought this years ago. Never really used it. I should maybe use it in the Sabbath band. There's a long scale. Got a hell of a punch to it. And it doesn't actually, it's a wee bit neck heavy, but not pure excessively so, which I think is one of the reasons you don't really get Les Paul basses, although my pal did have an Epiphone one. It was horrendously neck heavy. Is actually a really nice bass, considering these strings are horrible on it. It really is ridiculously punchy and solid feeling. I wonder if this could be my down-tuned bass for Sabbath. Actually, might start using it a little bit. Seems a shame to have such a bass and never really use it. Not being a massive Les Paul fan, but I mean, it is like one of the prettiest basses I think has ever been made. The reason they don't make them look like this might also be the first ever relic guitar, or the guitar version was anyway. You could get it in something called vintage violin finish, which I think might be what this is. So the idea is it's going to look like a 200-year-old violin or a 300-year-old violin. Therefore, and this has been 1980 or 1981 maybe, the serial numbers are slightly different in this one. I think the first one, I can't remember exactly how it works. I'll need to have a look at. I've got the PE600 guitar, which I bought after this, which is the sort of guitar version, but it's not the neck through one. The neck through one's expensive. It's the PE1000, which costs thousands of pounds. They still actually make the PE1000 or the 1500, and it's £4,000. Which kind of go, oh, but who's going to pay £4,000 for that? And it's like, well, that's just how much it costs to build these things. So build this now, £4,000 guitar, easy. If you got a bass to this spec, made in Japan, it's going to cost that amount easily. But not as popular as the SB range, which are a different shape. The one that the guy in John Taylor and Duran uses, that model are worth lots of money. This one, obviously, the higher the number, the more expensive things are. This is a 1500, which I think it's the SB1000 and the SB1200, I think, are the two in there. So this is actually higher up in the range than them, but not worth the same amount of money, unfortunately. Unless somebody wants to offer me the same amount of money, in which case you can have it. Again, why did I never play this thing? Really, I should really either move it on or do something with it. It's just, look at it, isn't it gorgeous? I mean, it's got to be one of the best looking basses that's ever been made. Like, just go straight to the point. There are not that many basses that are prettier than this. Quite rare to get. It's not really a Les Paul, I suppose. It's a PE shape. But these ones, the earlier, the ones with the Aria Pro 2 written on them, the writing on them isn't the same as what comes on later on ones. The later on ones have got a patent number that says something about selected woods. This one says designed and approved by H. Noble. Original custom body part, patent number 555719, a product of Matsumoku. So it's like wondering if it is a Matsumoku guitar. It says on it that it's a Matsumoku. It's got a wooden truss rod cover as well. Yes, so I looked up the 555, the patent number, and the patent number is for the neck join. It's a special neck joining system. This one doesn't have any neck join because it's through neck, so it applies to a different guitar. The PE electric guitars have a fancy neck join, but it kind of slides in. That this piece is separate. I'll show you the PE guitar later. What I might do here is I might make this my excuse to have brown guitars all over the wall. I've been thinking of doing that since I got the corker. You know, does this count as a brown guitar? Well, it's brown, so yes. I mean, okay, it's a bit fancy to be just brown, but it's a brown guitar. Very much in it couldn't be from anywhere else other than Japan in the late 70s or early 80s. The prime coffee table era, making guitars look like you could just eat them. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to restring this, and I'm going to take it into the studio with the Black Sabbath band next time we're in and use it. It really does have a very solid. I mean, I'm not one for through neck being a thing making that much difference to things, but whether this was a bolt or a set or a through neck, it doesn't matter. The quality of it's there. You can kind of feel it. It's like, you notice it very much on basses when you play high up the neck, and it feels exactly the same as it does down here, which doesn't happen with very many basses, but it happens with this one. This would have done really well in that blues band I was in, actually. Very much so. It seems very accurate. Is that the right word I'm looking for? Very positive and very controlled. Very, if you make a mistake on this bass, you will hear it. But if you don't make a mistake, it will sound pure glorious. And the sustain just being more than what you want. Probably something to do with weight. Like I said, the balance on it's not perfect, but you're not having to pure hold it up. It wants to be horizontal, which is annoying. Might be away with that just by moving that strap button to here or something like that. But I'll try weighing it. I'm going to put it in at, I don't think it's less than 4 kilograms. And for those who want it in pounds and stupid things, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to give it in kilograms. I don't think it's less than 4. 4.5. There you go. So 4.5 being stupidly heavy for a guitar, but it's a bass and it gets away with it. And you go, why is it so heavy? And it's because it's, look at the amount of maple and fancy wood in it. I mean, that's obviously, I don't think these are, in fact, they are not. That is 2 solid ash wings. So it's not a veneer on it. It goes all the way through to the back. You couldn't have a veneer if you carved the back anyway. So it's basically 2 pieces of wood. 1, 2, and then 3 for the centre bit. So the whole guitar is made of 5 pieces of wood, which is not very many for a bass. And these knobs are, as I said, not the right ones. But look at the way they're recessed in as well. Rather fancy. Not a cheap option. And if you've ever heard of the band called The Armory Show, they did a video, I think it's on Top of the Pops, and it can't be Top of the Pops because it's definitely live, and the bass player's jumping about one of these, and all you can hear is the bass. It's on YouTube anyway. If I remember, I'll put it down in the links below. love my West Tone Thunder, which I'm using in the band, but this would probably be not that different from a Thunder 3. One I've got is just a Thunder 1 with a bolt-on neck and stuff. The cheaper one, which isn't made of the fancy woods. This has got all the fancy stuff on it. Maybe not super excessively. I suppose it's good. It does have binding. That counts as a fancy thing, and the fancy finish and the through neck and the DiMarzios, and just a very, very high grade rosewood fingerboard. Just kind of better than what you get on any guitar. Maybe like the Fender Custom Shop or something like that, or the 10 grand Gibsons you might get rosewood like this, but you're not getting it on any normal guitars. And just the quality of build is just ridiculous. It kind of rivals the Corker actually, apart from it's Japanese. Yeah, so I'm going to have to start using this a little bit more. I think I might leave it out and just use it even when I'm doing my wee jammy things, just because it's nice having. It's very pretty to look at. So I think what I'll do now is I will see if I can completely cover the wall in brown guitars. I don't think any of them are actually going to be painted brown. They're all just going to have to be wood. So wood coloured guitars, dark brown. I think maybe. I'm not sure exactly what my current situation for how many guitars I've got that are wooden, but I'm going to put them up anyway, and this will count as one of them. But stunning bass. There was actually one for sale on eBay about 2 years ago, and the guy wanted 1,500 quid for it, and then it was on there for like a year. He kept lowering the price. I don't know what it actually went down to or whether it actually sold, but it could have been right. I mean, it should be a £1,500 bass. It's like, compare this to, you don't even get like there isn't a Gibson Les Paul bass, is there? I don't even know where you would go like to get like but it's basically a P bass. It's just got a P bass pickup and a volume and a tone, so it doesn't have any of the fancy electrics on it. And also, you don't really get basses that look like this anymore. Generally, more expensive basses are super futuristic and modern, as opposed to being, well, very traditional. It's basically, it's almost a Les Paul. I would argue it was a Les Paul bass, but and for some reason Gibson never, well, they did make them, but they didn't seem to sell very well, Gibson Les Paul basses. Yeah, wonderful. So here we go. pb1500. Look it up, there is an advert for it. There's the original brochure is kicking about somewhere. The Stradivarius of guitars. They were not like they were claiming much for it. It was like, these are the best guitars that the world has ever seen. That's what the advert says. I don't know how much you were allowed to lie, but I mean, I don't really know if you're really going to. I think there's an argument for that, to be honest. It's just overly fancy and lovely. Which, to be honest, doesn't make that much difference to the sound. But it's nice having the expensive stuff. So I do sort of get it, without being snobby about it. I don't think there was ever a cheaper one than this either. I don't think there was ever a, like a set neck or a bolt neck one. Or there was a PB anything less than 1,500. I think they've just made the one guitar, the one bass, and it didn't sell well enough, so they just stopped making it. Straight up. So I don't know how many of them there are. Probably not that many made. Maybe in the hundreds rather than the thousands, I think, most likely. I don't think none of these will have been thrown out. Nobody's going to, they don't sit in below bed. People always assume, it's through neck, it's Japanese. This is one of the best of the Aria Pros, really, just because it's so excessively fancy. Rock on! I shall see you later. Like and subscribe. I'm not quite. I've still got 3 to go to hit 4K. If you haven't subscribed, if you subscribe and hit me 4K, that'd be smashing. Rock on.